Hey everyone, for today's video, I'll be talking about Goblin Slayer and doing a showcase for him. Jumping right into it though, his slots are 6-star physical, 5-star defense, and 4-star physical. They're all great slots, the defense slot especially, you can't really go wrong here. His skill buffs his damage and break power up to 100%, pretty great as well. Some margin would have been nice, but the damage and break is strong already. His arts lowers the enemy's break and damage resist by 30%. This is by far one of the more unique parts to his kit. The fact that it's both damage resist and break resist debuffing means that it can stack with most units, which when paired with someone like Chloe's arts, the enemy is going to have a lot of break resist down. For his true art, it does 70,000 dark damage physical, and the lower his HP, the more damage and break he gets during the true arts, up to 300%. He also gets a stackable 3 arts a second for 60 seconds, and it does 5,000 break. Definitely the best part of his kit by far. It is a very risky play to try and maximize his break and damage, but if you're able to, the payout is very worth it. With his newly buffed 5,000 break true art, maxing his true art buff and skill will have each one of his true arts doing 25,000 break. That's quite a high number, and he only needs 200 arts to use it, from which he can spam it with his stackable art gen. That's not even including if you use his Spectral Dream to get 100% more break against demons, totaling to 30,000 break per true art. It's an actual insane amount of break on a very consistent basis. For his dream paths, his Crimson Dream gives him 150% damage and break and 2 arts a second, whereas Spectral Dream gives 100% damage to demons and gives all allies 20% skills CT speed up. I don't think you can really go wrong with either of these. For the Crimson Dream, the extra damage and break is very nice, especially since he can break quite often, so you'll see it quite a bit. Unless he can't break the boss, of course, which then it's pretty useless. The art gen is pretty nice as well, although for stacking so much it's fairly useless since he has a bunch of passive art gen and he'll have an instant true art once he's fully stacked, but it's still good nevertheless, of course. As for the Spectral Dream, the extra break power against demons is very useful and is definitely a common occurrence in some Summoner's Road and harder stages. The AoE skill CT speed is pretty good too if you're running him with units that get art gen from their skill. If you want to make him better functioning as a DPS, go for the Crimson Dream, whereas if you want even crazier break, albeit only against demons, go for the Spectral Dream. For his passives, he has 100% damage to demons, as well as not flinching, and 4 arts a second when he's near death. That's it for the kit though. For some equips to run on him, you can either run big break equips or damage buffing equips. For break, things such as Bakuzan work great. If you want raw break potential, Platina's true weapon is insane, and when fully buffed by Goblin Slayer, it can do a base of 40,000 break in a single use. That's not even including the 100% extra potential break from his Dream Evolution, which would make it 48,000. It's very nice to do a ton of the break bar in a short time. As I show in the video, I actually use it to do like 90% of Regulus's break bar in a single use, and that's after he's stacked his break resist. Anything really works for damage buffing. As for his defense slot though, it kind of depends on the content like usual, so there's not really much to say here. Just use something that has resistance to the current mission you're playing, whether that be elemental or status resist. And for his 4-star physical, there's really only like 2 equips you're going to want to run on him here. The best is by far going to be Grief, since it provides him with an infinite 2 arts a second, attack buff, and most importantly, it lowers his life so that he can benefit from his true art HP lowering buff. If you don't want to be as risky, or are going to try some insane break nuking strategies, you could try running something like Mavlocopolis for the extra 100% break power. Besides those, nothing else is really too insane. Whatever you do though, do not run Annulus, because while it has that nice passive physical damage up, it also lowers his break power by 100%, and on a breaker you can imagine how bad that would be. As for his crests, attack up and break power up are really solid. Equip CT if you need your equips to come back faster, Arts Gauge up if you want a quick start, or Shattering Gale, not only for the extra break power but damage up and break. And if you're running him more DPS oriented, something like Curse Frost or Funeral God could work. Although overall, I definitely think that with his new break buffs, he definitely has a place in break content. I think out of all of the breakers in the game, he's one of, if not the top breakers, as well as most consistent one, because he's able to drop 25,000 break value true arts one after the other while he's near death. But there's his main weakness, of course. If he's not able to be shielded by some tank or shield, it's very hard to take advantage of his break and damage up when he's near death. and running him with healers is a huge drawback, so in a sense, the entire team needs to revolve around meeting his needs. And for what he gives back in damage, I wouldn't say it's worth it if he's going to be your sole DPS, although as a breaker, I think it's very worth it, seeing how fast he's able to break. Another thing I haven't mentioned though, not only is he insane by himself, but if you pair him with someone who I consider his best partner, Chloe, all breaking becomes insanely easy. Each of their art break resist debuffs stack, so that's a consistent 70% break resist down. And on top of that, Chloe's true art is buffing Goblin Slayer's break even more. They each do so much break together, it's not even funny. If you saw it already, while I was using Chloe with Goblin Slayer on the Regulus stage in the Nova Crest, I was able to break Regulus 3 times within a minute. And keep in mind that after each break, he stacks break resist. But combined, each of these units make any break bar look like a joke. I'm kind of interested how they'll do against Gaia. He's definitely a unique and solid pickup overall, nothing crazy, but he could be really fun on stages needing break. I wouldn't chase him at all either, as there are plenty of other better units coming soon. Let me know your thoughts on Goblin Slayer down below, or if you happen to pull him. If you did enjoy the video, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.